Hello everyone, welcome to FedScoop TV. I'm your host, Greg Otto. You're watching our Digital Transformation Hero Series, and I'm talking with Robert Thottungal, the EPA's Chief Data Scientist. Robin, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, federal agencies are recognizing that digital transformation depends in part on modernizing their legacy IT systems. Can you point to an example inside your agency where you've seen a system be updated and it's helped you achieve your mission?
So I think one thing that we are looking at is we have, as EPA as an organization, we have multiple systems that is being deployed over the course of years, right?
Okay.
So one thing that we are looking at now at the agency now is, one thing I can talk about is the transactional systems. A lot of systems that we have at the agency is transactional systems designed for collecting information from regulated entities. Now, the challenge that we have there is from a technology standpoint is traditionally we have deployed these kind of systems in a data center, right? Now we are embracing that cloud is the way to go. So we are looking at, can we take the traditional way of deploying a transactional system on a data center architecture with VMs and take it to the concept of a platform as a service from cloud service providers. So that is the one place we are having conversation with multiple part of the agency to say, hey, your system is running on legacy system. How can we take that legacy system architecture and move into the concept of the cloud with an idea of using platform as a service? So that's, and there is multiple conversation, we are doing pilots, and because again the amount of work required, as I was saying, it will take some time for us to get there.
Okay.
But the conversation is happening.
So with that, that leads into my next question. How have advances in cloud services and containerization and agile development changed what you think is possible over the next 12 to 18 months?
So I think what will enable us with that one would be, for, let's take the concept of containerization, right?
Okay.
The containerization alone will help us to be more scalable. So from a citizen's perspective, what that means is, if you deploy these kind of services in the right fashion, right? And if you have a surge of people coming in to get our services, by deploying this in containers, we can scale behind the scene. So in other words, we won't be the idea of my system going down because I cannot sustain the number of users coming to the system will be a history of the past, right? Because think about it, how many times have you seen Netflix going down? How many times you have seen Amazon going down? Because they are using the concept of microservices as well as the concept of Dockerization or containerization to deliver services. So we are also trying to, in the sense the federal government is also trying to see how we can embrace these technologies so that we can also become better at serving our citizens.
So not only is this a technology thing, there's also the workforce component to it. What needs to happen to ensure that agencies are recruiting and retaining the talent needed to help agencies move into this new digital world?
So I think when I look at the workforce aspect of things, right, I mean, this is where, I think it's not going to be the agencies alone changing itself, right? This is where I think a true private-public partnership becomes important, right? For example, we need to have constant conversation with the different vendors out there, right? For example, we need to talk to different vendors to understand what are their thought process and what are they seeing in the other agencies or in the commercial market that is enabling them to become more successful in their delivery. So I see that the private partnership is important. At the same time, from a workforce standpoint, what we are trying to understand is how can we bring folks into the federal government who is well thought in or well respected in the industry and who can start the change. So the idea of the innovation fellowship, the idea of using short-term engagement, I think one of the things that we used to talk about in the previous era was, if you look at technology, that is only one area where we don't have specific program for technologists to come to the federal government and serve for let's 2 to 4 years and leave back to the industry, right? So so we are trying to embrace the concept of innovation fellowship so that we can get folks who are known in the industry for creating a transformation, come work with us, be the change agent, make the change, and then leave, and they start the change. The rest of this thing fall as a snowball effect.
Great. So with you being the Chief Data Scientist, this next question is directly up your alley. How are agencies planning ahead for the continuing surge of data? Because there's always going to be more data. There's not going to be less data.
Yeah.
So how are you bracing for that large amount that is going to come in as we continue forward with digital transformation?
So I think one thing that I can talk about from a data perspective is what we are understanding there is, for a core technology perspective, the problem is the traditional way of putting data in a relational data warehouse or relational systems is going to go out the window, right? Because Google does not have a relational system behind the scene for indexing the entire web page. So they have embraced the concept of storing the data and indexing the data in a fashion that is enabling them to be faster than anybody else in ingesting every data that is generated in the world of internet. So we are also trying to bring those kind of technologies into the agency. In other words, rather than building a next data warehouse, we are asking, can we use technologies that has enabled a company like Facebook or Google to be at the faster pace of the curve adoption of data, right? So we are bringing that same concept there. So I think the difference is, instead of thinking about the schema on write, we are embracing the concept of schema on read.
Okay, great. Robin, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate your insight.
Yep. Thanks, Greg.
For all of our videos, including our Digital Transformation Hero series, check out fedscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.